Hi, I'm Milkshake Matty and thanks very much for joining this video. Today we're going to be talking about XRP, the private ledger, and also the public ledger, because they are two very different things. And I think there is some confusion out there on social media about how these two are going to affect each other and exactly what their usages are. So we're going to look into this and see if we can get a solution. Let me know in the comments how you feel about XRP. Are you thinking it's going to go to the moon? Are you thinking it's probably going to stay around the price it is now? Or are you going to think it's a dead coin? Let me know in the comments. Let's see if we can get a chat going. If you are new here, please hit that subscribe button. It'll mean everything to me. And also, if you hit the like button, the algorithm like that. So I'll appreciate it if you do that. So yeah, hit that subscribe button. Thank you to everybody that's followed me over from TikTok. I appreciate all of you. But if you have found me through scrolling today through YouTube, hit that subscribe button. I'm bringing you XRP, Bitcoin, Pi Network and other cryptocurrency news every single day. The reason for me making this video is because I get asked the question a lot, and also I can see on my social media posts that there is some confusion about what it is, what these different ledgers are, what they're going to be used for. So let's get stuck into it. XRP was designed with big banks and financial institutions in mind. This is exactly what it's for. It's cheap in terms of its transaction fees and it's fast. It solved the problem that Bitcoin created. Bitcoin created a problem that the ideology behind Bitcoin was perfect, but it was too slow and too expensive. So up came Ripple and they found a solution and they built it. But remember guys, this wasn't built for me and you. This was built for the banks. But there's a problem. And the problem is this: with any blockchain, it's built so everybody can see all the transactions. We can all see one wallet sends to another wallet, sends to another wallet. We can all track it. Most people don't bother tracking it. I personally don't track wallets. That's not my thing. But there are thousands of people that do, and that's their thing. The problem with that is on a financial institution level is they don't want people watching where the money's going because of scams, because of frauds, because of robberies. They need an element of privacy when it comes to banking, and that makes complete sense. And hopefully that makes sense to you why. It's not a case of they're trying to hide it because they're doing something bad. It's because they're trying to protect themselves, their customers, and making sure that they can be as financially safe as possible from attacks. So Ripple created a system where they have got the public ledger, which is what we're all on now. We're all on the blockchain. It's a public ledger. We can all track the wallets should you wish to, okay? But they also created a separate section, which is the private ledgers, and they can create as many of these as they wish, right? And these are for banks to have internal systems. So if they are sending money from point A to point B and they want it to be private, it can be on the private ledger. That is the solution they came up with, and that is what's going to happen. And the solution that Ripple's come up with, the banks have loved it. That's why so many of these financial institutions and banks have already signed up, ready for the rollout, ready for when it all goes live. They are poised, ready, and this is why. It's because it's going to reduce their costs when it comes to fees. It's going to be able to, they're going to be able to do things faster. They're going to be able to do it 7 days a week. There's going to be no downtime, and it makes complete sense for them. And now, when Ripple solved the problem about the privacy element, that's where it kicks off. But how is this going to affect the prices? Because one of the questions that people are asking is, well, if it's on a private ledger, will there be a different price on a private ledger to the public ledger? And luckily, the people from Ripple have already explained this and answered this. The public ledgers and the private ledgers are going to be fluid, and that the XRP is going to be able to be transferred between them. Therefore, the price has to be the same, or very, very similar by fractions of a cent. So there might be slightly different changes in it, but they've already made it clear this is going to be like teeny amounts of difference because the figures have to be the same, or else the system wouldn't work. Because all of a sudden, when Bank A needs to send to Bank F, well, if their prices are different, it doesn't make sense, which is why. But they said that there will be slight variations, but it's going to be tiny. But let's look at some other things that are going to impact. What are the impacts going to be from having a public and private ledger, and especially around price? Let's go and have a look at this. Let's talk about the potential impacts by there being two ledgers. Well, actually, there'll be hundreds of ledgers, but we'll bulk all the private ones together and call it private against the public. Let's see what the impacts on that would be. So first of all, if we look at liquidity and demand. So if the banks use XRP on their private ledgers, but all their transactions are still going to be using the public XRP ledger in terms of XRPL. So we can't see the transactions, but it's using the XRP, then it's going to increase the overall demand for XRP, which of course is going to force the price up. That's just basic maths. We know that. However, if the banks transact internally on a private ledger, but they don't use XRP, then obviously it's going to have no effect on the price of XRP at all. But that's not the plan. And I think this is the confusion. When I'm reading it on social media, people are thinking the private ledger means a separate cryptocurrency. And that's not what they're offering to the banks and financial institutions. They're all of us, including them, are all going to be using XRP. It's not going to be a separate XRP bank, for instance. It's going to be one part of XRP, but it's going to be able to be moved fluidly between the different ledgers. Let's look at the supply constraints. So if banks hold significant amounts of XRP for settlement, this could reduce circulating supply in the public market, which again is going to potentially increase the price. And I think this is the thing that people were hoping were going to happen. I believe it is what's going to happen. But there are some people, because they don't understand the fluid nature of these different ledgers, they're thinking this isn't going to happen. But Ripple have been clear, this is going to happen. This is exactly what their plan is. Let's look at market perception and speculation. So the news of the banks using XRP and all of its related technologies is going to increase people's knowledge of XRP. I'm on about not people that are already in it. I'm on about just the random people like my mum and dad. My mum and dad have got no interest in cryptocurrency at all whatsoever. But if their bank starts trading XRP and the bank is sending out emails or they're putting out adverts on the TV about how fast they can do it and how much cheaper it is and it's so much better for you, all of a sudden people like my parents are going to know what XRP is. And I tell you what, my dad does like a little investment on the stocks, but would he be interested in being invested in XRP if he knew what it was and understand it? And you're probably thinking, why haven't I told him? My dad's just got no interest in talking to me about crypto, and I've got no interest in talking to him about it. But he would be interested in talking to the banks. And if the banks start using XRP, then he becomes interested. And that is why it's so important, because once the big boys start using it and it becomes in the public psyche what it is, more interest, more people buying it, price goes up. Institutional adoption. If the private ledger adoption eventually leads to direct public ledger use, it could result in sustained price increases. What I mean by that is they're going to be using their private ledgers, but because money's going to be moving between them, it's automatically going to have an effect on the public ledger as well, because there's going to be money going in and out all the time. As well as, because they forget, they only want the private ledger to hide transactions that they want to keep private and safe. But the ones that they don't need to do that to are going to be going in and out. So it's going to increase. So basically, what I'm trying to say to you is that the public and the private ledgers, the private ledgers in particular have a use. It's a use that makes complete sense. And hopefully now you can understand why the banks need a private ledger or would want a private ledger. You can understand why Ripple have then created a solution for the banks. And we're all going to benefit from this. But I know there's a lot of disinformation on social media at the moment talking about this, especially from the Bitcoin maxis. They're using it almost like a weapon. But listen, the Bitcoin maxis have been using it as a weapon since 2017 or something. But listen, let them do what they're going to do. They're just being lazy and they're not doing their research. I believe it's going to have a positive impact if all the banks start using the XRP ledger. And it doesn't matter which ledger it is, private or public, because as we've just explained, you can't have the private one without doing something with the public one as well. So it's going to have an effect. And remember, the more that they use it, the more that the banks and financial institutions purchase, that means the less XRP that's going to go around. And don't forget, we've only got 5 more years of new XRP going into circulation. And after that 5 years, the amount that's available will start to get smaller because of the burn rate. And the prices will go up as well. So everything's going in the right direction, in my view. I also believe that we're going to see some short-term price surges as some of these deals get announced with these financial institutions. People won't look deeply about whether it's private or public ledger. All they're going to see is the headlines. Bank of America uses XRP for all internal transactions. I promise you, that kind of headline, once it's official or once the emails go out from the Bank of America to their customers, they're all going to start wanting to buy XRP. Not all, but there'll be a huge increase in people going, oh, maybe I should get some XRP. I've heard that word before. Maybe I should get some. Just hold a little bit. And that can only be a good thing for long term. So hopefully you found this video useful. Hopefully I've explained some things that has been misconstrued online because of just people just saying stuff that isn't true. So hopefully you've enjoyed this. If you have, hit that subscribe button. Let me know in the comments how you feel about the public and the private ledgers, because I'm sure there are people having different opinions on this one. I've just given you my opinion and what I think. I think it's an incredibly exciting time to be holding XRP, and I intend to increase my holdings over the years, not just sit and where I am. That's my plan. But let me know in the comments what your plans are, and I'll see you in the next one.